Hey everyone, we're on a march to startup. If you're not familiar, I'm dropping out of my PhD in 6 months, and the reason I'm doing that is to pursue my entrepreneurial interest. Now, what is that? For me, that looks initially like making apps, making websites, and creating startups from them. Now, I'm not approaching this like your typical YouTuber. I'm showing all the steps that I'm taking to get there. I'm not just going to show me making apps and that's all I'm doing. No, there's so much more that goes into that. And I'm trying to show a more well-rounded perspective because that's something I would have wanted shared with me when I was younger. Yeah, so far, built a project and task management system, then made the decision to drop out, and now I'm working on optimizing my computer. It's basically an extension of myself, so I want to make sure that whatever I'm using my computer for, I'm using it to get things done quickly. And yeah, now you're up to speed. So let's see. Today's going to be more of an update and less of a working in public because, let's just get into it. The reason for that is because I'm really busy with my machine learning research. I need to ramp up for a project that I'm onboarding for another lab at my university. And if you're interested in machine learning or research, anything like that, check out my second YouTube channel. I'm going to cover everything that I'm learning, from technology to productivity to business. Right now, it just happens to be my research project. So far, spent 8 days, each day at least, on average day, it's like 3 hours long. I'm going over literature review at the moment, covering papers, and then as soon as I do that, I'm going to ramp up and start making a machine learning model. And what this specific project is for is chest radiology report generation. And let's see, let me show you a good picture. So essentially taking radiology report images, chest x-ray images, as well as a radiology report, using that to train a model. And using it to train a model so that then we can automate the report generation process. It's basically like ChatGPT. Give it an image and ask it, okay, can you write down the findings for me? A radiologist is then going to use this information and make the final, what is it called when they classify or when they submit, whatever diseases are in the findings, submit that and recommend the patient to the other medical providers to address those diseases. So you can check that out. And let's see. So that project is due me ramping up on a literature review is due in a week. So spending a lot of time on that every day. So that's my second channel. Now, to give a bit of a status update for today I spent a little, not necessarily an hour, but I run every day, and I wanted to film part of I want to make a day in my life video. And so today I was just filming for the start of my day, the typical things I do. So for me, that's getting up around 9 or 10, running for like an hour, and then coming home, eating breakfast. So I filmed that part. And the issue was that last night I got no sleep, And then in addition, I ran a little extra today just to capture what I want to capture. And so that led to me being just completely exhausted. Showing some receipts. My run was 7 miles, which is a little bit on the higher end for my typical day. Typical, it's like 4 to 6 miles. Pace was just baseline. And let's see right here. Sleep score. One of the worst sleep scores I have ever gotten. I just couldn't sleep. 48. I went to sleep like at, it was like 1 or 2. Woke up like at 6. 4:20. But yeah, so I'm just exhausted today. Didn't get a lot done. Wasn't as active during the day. I took a nap, so I wasn't able to get a lot done for this channel. Recording a day in March to Startup, I guess. And then in addition to that, I had some other tasks that I needed to do. It wasn't that long, but for me, those were like key today. And that was finally got health insurance. I've been without health insurance consistently for the past 5 to 7 years. As a student, as someone who, like my family, we don't just have my mom. She doesn't make a lot, so we can't afford insurance. And I've been a student, so I can't take on a job, or don't want us to take on a job so I can focus on school. So finally got to make a dentist appointment and doctor's visit. Yeah, so that actually made me pretty happy, which I'll explain right here in the second part. So the next thing that I'm announcing, I guess, is very exciting to me. If you're not familiar, there's this guy named Brian Johnson. And who he is, this looks like he's just trying to sell you stuff. Which he is, but that's sort of, how do you say that? That's not like the main impression you should have of him if you're just hearing about him for the first time. He's almost a billionaire, not quite. He had like a tech company. He sold it for hundreds of millions. And the past 3 years, he spent being very meticulous in making a diet, making a diet, exercise schedule, sleep schedule. He gets like 100% perfect sleep every night. I think he's vegan. I don't know. I like meat, but if vegan's gonna make me live longer, that's all I care about. I care about longevity in business and entrepreneurship. So we're gonna do whatever it takes to get there. So anyways, so he's sort of made health and wellness a science. And he spent the last 3 years, probably like $1 million every year. He gets biomarkers checked I don't know how often, but basically he's determined with the help of medical researchers, that what he's doing is making him age very slowly in comparison to the rest of us. So it's something that's very legit. I'm pretty sure there's research papers and everything. He's published it. I haven't looked at it, but I believe it. For the researchers, for his credibility, what else would it be? Maybe I should look into that, actually. Right now I'm just making it sound like going blind into stuff is okay, but I should look into the research papers and see who the researchers are and how credible is or how meticulous were they in their findings. So I doubt I'm going to be able to interpret the research, but if it looks like they're from prestigious or well-known colleges, or if they have a history of research in this area, then that's a very big step. Very big step in the right direction for me. So that I was just introducing that, and now the next point that I'm making is, I signed up for this self-experimentation study. What it is, it's actually 5,000 people. For the next 90 days, in addition to whatever I'm doing, whatever my diet is, whatever my diet is, I add these ingredients or meals to my diet. And then also my plan during this 90 days is to have a consistent exercise schedule and follow it, have a consistent just baseline diet, because this is just supplements. So in addition to this, I'm going to hone in on my diet. I've just been, on a typical day, I just eat whatever I can find, and sometimes it's not very nutritious, so I need to figure that out. And the third thing is I need to just have a consistent and solid sleep schedule. Currently it's been, I sleep when the work is done, when I get the work done to a certain point where I feel happy. But I need to prioritize my sleep and my health over what I'm doing, at least until I establish it as being a habit. And then at that point, I can be more sustainable in what I'm doing and have more longevity again in entrepreneurship. So that's this study. And because I'm in this study and I get to finally fix a lot of these things that as a PhD student, even just a regular student, I'll deal with it later. It doesn't matter as long as I sleep tonight and as long as I eat enough food that I'm not like dying, then I'm okay. And that's actually it's affected my blood pressure, which I'll get into. But my plan is, this study starts in February, and to be consistent and actually and not, and to make my results meaningful, I need to, whatever I do at the start of the study, I need to follow it through for the entire study. And so for me, that means, like I just said, having an exercise, diet, and sleeping schedule that I can stick to. So I need to do that before February, which is 2.5 weeks from now. So need to figure that out this week and next week and start it. So for March to Perfect Health, which is a new series that I'm making about living a healthy life and having longevity, I'm going to research first what is a really good running program. My aim isn't necessarily right now to run a marathon. This may end up helping me get there. But for now, it's just what sort of cardio do I need to do to lower my blood pressure the most. There's been research done that having, I don't know what kind of running, but essentially following a sort of running schedule. For example, HIIT, I think, was one of the best ones, can drop your blood pressure for a number of hours right after you're done running. So I'm going to look into that just to make sure the research is credible and determine which is the best running schedule to drop my blood pressure. And then I'm also going to make a meal prep plan. I'm a college student. I don't have time to cook my food every day. I hate cooking anyways. So I need something that's quick to prepare. I need it to be cheap. I can't spend over like $500 a month on food. I need it to be nutritious. It needs to meet all my calories, all my protein, all of that. It needs to last in the fridge. And then the last point is, maybe I'm gonna go vegan. Brian Johnson's gone vegan. His health is perfect. I like chicken, I like steak, I like beef, but I'd give it up in a heartbeat if it means I'm gonna stick around, be sharper for longer. So that's sort of my plan for that. And let's see. Yeah, and then the other thing is, I think there's some to the stress, for the stress and for sleeping, that involves a lot of, let's say, like mental, how do you say it? To be able to go to sleep and not think about other things, to be able to focus on the thing you're currently doing, and to be able to not be as stressed throughout the day. That all sort of at the core is related to your mind, your mental health. And so for me, I need to figure that out. I've been inconsistent with meditation, with breath work, journaling. I just want to choose one, the one that works the best, and be consistent with it. So I need to dig a little deep down and see, what am I willing to do, and be consistent with it every day. Now, the reason that I want to do a March to Perfect Health is because I don't really have a good background with health. My family isn't the type that has a history where they eat like shit. They maybe they have diseases, but they lived into their 90s or 100. Like, no, my family is, I think they eat like shit. I don't follow them around. I haven't been in their life for a long time. They're in Mexico. But my grandparents, they passed away in their 60s. My 3 of the 9 aunts and uncles that I have passed away in their 60s. And I'm talking about my mom's side. I don't know anything about my dad. Then 7 out of 9 of the aunts and uncles that I have diabetes. And in addition to that, we don't have a history of blood pressure, but I'm the first one. And I have very high blood pressure before the pills. After the pills, I still have high blood pressure. After my blood pressure pills, I have a higher blood pressure than your dad probably has. So, I need to figure this out if I'm going to live long enough to see grandkids, if I'm going to live long enough to outwork the people that I look up to. So I'm in this for longevity, and I'm in this for my future, for my family, and to learn things that no one in my family has learned. And I want to figure out if my family's history of illness is maybe genetic, or is it no one in my family got a clue on how to take care of themselves. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. And one way that I get to do that and not have to wait until I'm 60 is this program. They're measuring stuff. Well, the volunteers are paying for their own tests, and I'm willing to take all the tests I need. I have like some money saved up for my NVIDIA internship that I was going to save for rent when I drop out, but I might as well. For me, health is more important right now. And so these blood tests, they're going to give me sort of a status of my health. And the researchers I believe they're going to look at the overall group's results, so I can then compare mine to the overall group. And I believe this group should be like healthy. Like, the only people that are interested in this sort of thing is people that have been following Brian Johnson, who care about their health, so they're probably eating healthy and running and doing exercise. So I should get a snapshot of where I am in comparison to the rest of the group. And I think this, for example, tests how likely I am to have diabetes, testosterone, I think that's important. Cholesterol is important. So a lot of these are going to give me some insight into where I am and if there's anything I need to do now to address it, or is just being consistent with exercise, with my diet, with a sleeping schedule is it gonna help me get onto the right path? And then in addition to the blood, there's vitamins and minerals that I need to check. Maybe I'm not eating enough of a certain vitamin or mineral, and I need to increase it in my diet. Yeah, so that's an overview of something interesting I'm doing for the next 90 days, and I'm going to make it a march to perfect health. I'm on a march to startup, march to perfect health, and I'm also, I don't know if I should rename this, but it's like march to LLM expert or march to chest radiology machine learning expert. I don't know. So I have various different areas of my life that I'm working in. I may have to cut one out in the next month or so if I realize it's taking a lot longer. And it's not going to be my march to startup because I've decided, so I'm not going to cut that out. And I'm not going to, give up on my health. So those things are going to stay. Everything else, I'm willing to cut out if I have no time for it. Yeah, so that's an overview of what I've done today. Other things that are taking a little bit of my focus from this channel, my machine learning research for the next 3 weeks, basically. I'll still try to post an hour, but I'm just not going to be able to work like 3, 4, 5 hours like I used to while I'm ramping up for that project. And then also because of that, or another reason I'm going to be really busy the next 2 to 3 weeks is I need to establish my baseline going into this study. So that's an overview. Hopefully tomorrow I might give a short update like this. I have to go to work, so maybe I'll work, maybe I won't. We'll see. See y'all tomorrow.